I still remember the sound of his voice before I remember his face. Loud, sharp, confident in the way only people who've never been told no can sound. It cut through the cabin like it owned the air itself. "You've got to be kidding me. I am not sitting next to her." The words landed heavy, and for a split second, everything froze. Conversations stopped. Pages stopped turning. Even the low hum of the aircraft felt like it pulled back, waiting to see what would happen next. And the wild part is, I didn't even look up right away. I was staring at a document on my lap, rereading the same sentence over and over, not because it was important, but because I already knew. I knew this moment. I'd lived versions of it my whole life. Different rooms, different faces, same energy. You know what I mean? Let me back up a little. This was supposed to be a quiet flight. Early morning cross-country first class because I needed the space to work and, honestly, because I'd earned it. I boarded early, found my seat, tucked my bag away, settled in. No drama, no scene. Just another day. I wasn't dressed flashy. Just clean, comfortable professional. The kind of outfit that says I have things to do, not people to impress. And that right there was apparently the problem. The man who had just spoken was standing in the aisle, one hand gripping the headrest like he was bracing himself. Mid-50s, expensive jacket, expensive watch, the kind of guy who wears money like cologne. Strong. Overpowering. He looked at me the way people look at a stain on something they paid too much for. "This is first class," he said, like he was explaining gravity to a child. I didn't pay this much to be uncomfortable. I finally looked up, met his eyes. Calm. Not defiant, not apologetic, just present. I said, "Sir, that is my seat." Simple. Factual. That should have been the end of it. But for people like him, it never is. He laughed short and sharp. "Yeah, right. There's no way." He waved a hand toward the aisle. "Flight attendant, we need to fix this." The way he said "fix it" made my stomach tighten, like I was a problem to be removed. The attendant came over, polite professional, already tense. She checked both boarding passes. Looked up. "Everything is correct, sir. These are your assigned seats." That's when his face changed. You could see it. The confusion turning into irritation into something darker. "No," he said louder now. "This can't be right." He leaned closer, lowered his voice like he was doing me a favor. "Listen, sweetheart, you're in the wrong place. I've been underestimated before. Counted out. Talked down to. I know the drill. Normally, I pick my battles. Smile. Let it slide. Protect my peace. But something in me snapped just a little. Maybe it was the exhaustion. Maybe it was the tone. Or maybe I was just done shrinking. I said evenly, "I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be." That should have been a warning. Instead, it lit a fuse. He started listing things. How much he paid. Who he knew. What company he ran. How often he flew. Every sentence a reminder that in his mind, value came with a price tag and mine didn't measure up. Passengers nearby shifted uncomfortably. A couple across the aisle stared straight ahead, pretending not to hear. I could feel the heat crawling up my neck, not from anger yet, but from that old familiar mix of embarrassment and disbelief. Like, wow, this is really happening. In public. Again. The attendant tried to intervene. Firm, but respectful. "Sir, if you'll take your seat, we can prepare for departure." He didn't even look at her. Just pointed at me. "Move her. I don't care where. I want this seat clear." And there it was. The thing he didn't know. The thing I hadn't said yet. The thing I never need to announce because it usually speaks for itself. I closed my folder, placed it carefully on the armrest, and looked up at him again. "You should sit down," I said quietly. "This isn't going the way you think it is." He scoffed. "Is that a threat?" He leaned in closer, breath, sharp eyes cold. "Do you have any idea who I am?" I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. Do you? That's when the captain stepped out of the cockpit. You could feel the shift immediately. Authority has a weight to it. The man asked what the issue was, calm but serious. The loud man launched into his version of events, painting himself as the victim, talking over everyone, demanding action. The captain listened. Then he looked at me. took in the folder. The badge clipped to my bag. The name. His expression changed. Subtle, but unmistakable. "Ma'am," he said respectful, "are you all right?" The loud man froze. Just for a second. Confusion flickered across his face. "What is this?" he snapped. "Why are you asking her?" I finally stood up. Not dramatically. Just enough to meet them eye to eye. Because I said I oversee compliance for this airline. And several others. I let that hang in the air. You could hear someone in the back suck in a breath. He blinked. Once. Twice. "That's not funny," he said weakly. "I'm not joking." Silence. Heavy. Thick. The kind that presses against your ears. The captain straightened. "Sir," he said to the man, "I need you to take your seat. Now." The explosion came fast. Shouting. Threats. Lawyers. Lawsuits. Pulling contracts. Saying names like they were weapons. But it was over. He'd crossed too many lines. Interfered with crew. Created a safety issue. The words were clinical. By the book. The kind of language that doesn't care how much money you have. When security arrived, he couldn't believe it. Grabbed the armrest. Refused to move. Yelled that he'd ruin everyone involved. And as they escorted him off the plane, he locked eyes with me, face red, jaw tight. "This isn't over," he spat. I sat back down. Opened my folder. "No," I said softly. "It's just beginning." The rest of the flight was quiet. Too quiet. People avoided my gaze, then smiled when they thought I wasn't looking. When we landed, my phone lit up like it was on fire. Messages, alerts, missed calls. He'd already started spinning the story. Headlines twisting the truth. Comment sections filled with hate and doubt. The familiar backlash that comes when someone like me refuses to stay small. And yeah, it hurt. I'm human. I read it. I felt it. That old voice whispering, "Maybe you should have just moved. Maybe it wasn't worth it." But then I remembered his face when he realized he was wrong. And I remembered every time I swallowed my pride to make someone else comfortable. The investigation that followed was thorough. Paper trails don't lie. And when the dust settled, the narrative changed. Slowly. Reluctantly. But it changed. Apologies came. Quiet ones, no headlines, no hashtags. Just consequences. I didn't win because I yelled louder. I didn't win because I embarrassed him. I won because I stood my ground, because I knew who I was, and because the rules applied to everyone, whether they liked it or not. So here's my question for you. Was I right? Should I have moved to keep the peace? Or is peace that only exists when certain people stay silent, not really peace at all? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear them. And if you've ever been underestimated, dismissed, or told you didn't belong somewhere, you earned your way in to share your story. Because the more we talk about it, the harder it gets to pretend it doesn't happen.